And welcome to another edition of Two Steps Ahead podcast, encouraging you to take your passion, make it happen, let yourself be great. I'm Son Edom, and 'tis the season to be jolly. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It is that time of year. Hard to think that it comes but once a year, and that year or time of year is now. Any last things you want to get done before the calendar flips to 2025? On the show, let's celebrate Christmas. Talk about the holiday season. Ever hear, I'm sure you have, but they talk about having the spirit of Christmas. But what exactly is the spirit of Christmas? And why should we have it depending on what it is? Why should we have it just at this time of year? And is it just in the month of December? Is it just a couple weeks of December? Does it end on December 26th? So that's what we're going to talk about. Kind of go over Christmas, maybe some holiday traditions, your favorite songs, maybe some movies, things like that. And so I guess the first question you really have to ask yourself is, how is your holiday season? Is it full of peace, good tidings, family gatherings, kind of that traditional Saturday evening post type of holiday? Or is it more like this?
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together. This is a full-blown, four-alarm holiday emergency here. We're going to press on, and we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's going to find the jolliest bunch this side of the nut house.
Is yours a four-alarm dumpster fire of a holiday season? How do you approach it? I'm sure we all approach it with glad tidings and good cheer for all, but then we kind of get stuck in the rat race, the chaos of the holiday season, shopping, gift buying, not knowing what to get people. If you are in a new relationship, there's all of that. Getting the perfect gift without saying too much, but not saying enough. And it goes round and round. So what kind of holiday season do you usually experience, and what would you like to do? So we talk about the Christmas spirit. I guess you can take a look at it from maybe a couple different perspectives, like your feelings. Feelings do matter, the Christmas spirit, Christmas time. Maybe your values, family values, what you treasure most, and maybe your actions. So perhaps it's a combination of things, what you're feeling, what you're going through, what your values are, and what your actions. And then how does that relate to the joy of the season, maybe to the generosity of the season, to that warmth that's associated with the holiday season? So it can vary from person to person, but I think universally, if you were to ask people, there would be some commonalities in the answer of what the Christmas spirit is. Obviously, first and foremost would have to be your generosity, your giving, right? I mean, you can't, maybe it's changed a little bit, so I shouldn't just make a blanket statement. But before, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing the kettlebells of the Salvation Army, right? The ringing of the bells, and you drop your money in the red kettles. I'm sure it's still pretty prominent. It's prominent in my area, but I don't know if it's a blanket statement to say it's everywhere. Perhaps it's kind of shrinking, but again, the Salvation Army, think of that. Or maybe perhaps other charity events. Maybe at your church, you give a little bit more. Maybe you do things like with Samaritan's Purse, where you can send gift boxes to people around the world. So other charitable organizations. But basically, when you look at the Christmas spirit, when it comes to generosity and giving, you're sharing with others. 'Tis the season to give. We give gifts. They say it's better to give than receive, although I think society has gotten it flipped nowadays, but let's stay positive. So we give gifts, maybe tangible gifts that you can unwrap, or maybe it's kindness. Your actions, what you do, random acts of kindness, or maybe just kindness in general above and beyond, because maybe people are in a good mood. And so they're more open to accepting random acts of kindness, because there are times of years when you try to be kind to people and they're a little grouchy, a little grumpy. But maybe this time of year, they're a little bit more open to kindness. And so you're a little bit more kind. Maybe you obviously help those in need a lot more at this time of year. I mean, from Thanksgiving, pretty much through the new year, at least through Christmas, a lot of people, their thoughts are on giving. Their mindset is on giving, trying to help others experience Christmas and celebrate with gifts of some sort. And so when you're talking about generosity and you're talking about giving, you're talking about the selflessness, or at least trying to emphasize selflessness for a while, although we do hand out things like Christmas lists. Hey, what do you want for Christmas? Well, some of this stuff. And that's okay. I'm not saying it's bad, so don't get me wrong. This is an upbeat, positive show, but we do have a focus on self a little bit because it is exciting to get. So we're not totally just on generosity and giving. We do like to receive, obviously. But again, we're trying to emphasize that selflessness that might not be there other times of the year. And so we get that joy of giving. And so you have the Christmas spirit that might focus on generosity and giving, unlike this character.
It's just another work day, and any jackanapes who thinks else should be boiled in his own pudding.
But, sir, Christmas is a time for giving, a time to be with one's family.
I say, bah, humbug.
I don't care. I say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Well said, Master Fred.
So are you a bah humbug, or are you a Merry Christmas? Is it just another work day, or do we give a little bit more? And not only with our generosity and giving, like our money. That's what generosity and giving, although there is time, you can give your gift of time, which is generous. But a lot of times we think of gifts in the terms of money. And so do you work extra? Do you go the extra mile at work to hopefully get a better bonus? See, so there are a lot of things that can really sneak in there, creep in there, that brings our joy down because of the generosity that we try to bestow on others. So we want to keep that in check. But along with that comes love and togetherness. I mean, spending quality time with family and friends. I know what Thanksgiving, you have what Friendsgiving. So you have that at Thanksgiving, and now maybe you carry it over to Christmas and you want to strengthen those bonds with people, loved ones. I know growing up, we would always get together at Christmas time, usually Christmas Eve with one side of the family, Christmas Day with the other. But yeah, the holidays from Thanksgiving through New Year's was family, family, family. We'd get together. We'd celebrate family. My grandparents lived in Pasadena, California. So New Year's Day, the holiday season kind of ended with the Rose Parade and the Rose Bowl game on TV, with all of us gathered together at Grandma and Grandpa's house celebrating togetherness. It started at Thanksgiving with somebody else's house, Christmas Eve. Everybody would kind of host different nights, but it always ended on New Year's Day at Grandma and Grandpa's house, celebrating New Year's with the parade and the Rose Bowl game. But you're trying to spend time together with people. Maybe you want to reconnect with others. So the Christmas spirit encompasses giving and generosity, but also maybe loving, tenderness, togetherness. Maybe that is the essence of the Christmas spirit. But what about joy and celebration? Sure, you can have generosity, you can have giving, you can have a togetherness, family love, friendships. But is your joy being taken away because of the chaos of Christmas? And maybe too much celebration. Maybe we go overboard with Christmas party after Christmas party after Christmas party. You know, there was a time back in my early days, college days, where I would work as a mobile disc jockey, go around and, DJ parties. And I did it for several reasons, but one was to gain experience talking on the microphone in front of people. You know, fear of a microphone, fear of talking in front of people with the microphone is the number one fear that a lot of people suffer from. So I wanted to get over that because I knew that I wanted to have a radio broadcasting career and be in front of people. So you have to get over that phobia of speaking in front of large groups. So that was one of the reasons why I did it. And Christmas, I mean, we were out there party after party after party after party. Christmas song, Christmas song, Christmas song, Christmas song. The festivities, the festivities, the festivities. Santa, 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 and his ho, ho, ho's. And so eventually, by the time Christmas parties came to an end, you were kind of done with it. Oversaturation of Christmas kind of killed the mood, killed the spirit. And so, yeah, there can be too much. Just because you get tired, you get worn down. So you want to limit yourself. But yeah, you want to have joy. You want to embrace the festive moods, decorations, music, different traditions, which we're going to get into a little bit later, more of that. And you just want to celebrate and have that culture of joy and that culture of excitement, that anticipation of Christmas morning. Maybe you had that as a child, but now as an adult, you're going to carry that through the entire Christmas season. Maybe the spirit of Christmas has to deal with reflection, maybe gratitude, being thankful for the things that we have. You know, we use the holiday season, especially at Christmas time, because it's toward the end of the year and we're looking at the past year that we just had. And now we're looking also towards the future year that's coming up with New Year's right around the corner. And so maybe we reflect on the gratitude of things that we've had happen to us, the blessings that we've had in our lives, the things that have gone good. And then maybe reflect on both the good and bad, because we can always learn from something that doesn't go right. Like in sports, you can always learn from a loss, and sometimes you can learn more from a loss than you do from a win. And again, it goes back to acts of kindness, whether they're a small act of kindness or large acts of kindness. You know, we talked about donating to a charity. What about helping a neighbor? Maybe you have some elderly neighbors that need to put up some Christmas lights or whatever. And it's hard for them to do it nowadays. And maybe their families moved away. I mean, that's a lot of what people go through now at the holidays, especially in the last couple of years, is people moving away, friends and family moving away to other states. And it's that closeness isn't there anymore. Or maybe you just want to spread goodwill. Whatever you determine goodwill is, just to make other people feel better. Maybe that's a part of the Christmas spirit. The other thing that the Christmas spirit can embody is hope. Hope for the future, hope for change. Whatever you want your life to be like down the road, something we talk about often here on the show. Maybe hope for other people. Whatever it is, you just hope. That was at the bottom of Pandora's box. All this bad stuff came out of Pandora's box, if you're familiar with the story. At the bottom was hope. And then maybe renewal. Maybe you just want to have a renewal of life. Things are going good, but maybe you want to tweak some things. Do something a little different. Shake it up a little bit. Not so monotonous. Not so boring. And then, of course, at Christmas time, you have faith and spiritual reflection. For Christians, it's the birth of Jesus. I guess you have Hanukkah for people of the Jewish faith. I think those are the two primary religions that celebrate a religious holiday. Not really sure what other holiday might be going on at this time that celebrates Christmas. But then just in general, people reflecting upon their spirituality of goodwill, good tidings to all men. And so you have that going on. In fact, Christmas is one of the 2 times that a year that people will go to church, go to mass. Christmas and then Easter being the other one. So you can have the Christmas spirit being whatever you want it to be. You can engage in the Christmas season however you want. But a lot of times it has to deal with some of these things, if not all of them, some of them. Again, the Christmas spirit embodying generosity, giving to others, a love for people, family, friends, just maybe general welfare of people, a togetherness, coming together with friends and family at this time of year, maybe reconnecting with people that we lost touch with. celebrating the season with joy in that celebration as we do parties and get-togethers and so forth. Reflect on the past and be thankful for the blessings that we had. Continue acts of kindness, having hope and renewal, hope for maybe something better and maybe a renewal. You know, we oftentimes have to renew a membership, right? Whether it's Netflix or Spotify or any number of things, the gym. And so you have to renew something all the time. You have to change your password all the time. It doesn't mean anything bad is going on. It's just a renewal, a recommitment, I guess you could say, to what's working, to what you like, what you enjoy. And so you recommit to that. And then, of course, you have that faith and spiritual reflection. And again, for Christians, it's the birth of Jesus. And for Hanukkah, the Jewish faith celebrating their holiday as well. But the question I have is, if this is the spirit of Christmas, and if the spirit of Christmas does embody any or all of these attributes, why do we only have it at Christmas time? Why can't we embody these things throughout the entire year? Why can't we take them on? I mean, if we did it all year round, would not that be something? Would that not be a game changer? A lot of times at Christmas, wintertime, you think of snow. One time living in Iowa, I moved to Iowa, and it was my first winter there. First snowfall. Went from Los Angeles to Iowa. Snow fell. Thankfully, it wasn't a whole lot, but had to get out and shovel the walk, right? First time ever doing it, so I was pretty excited, pretty cranked up. So I had to shovel the driveway and the walkway from the sidewalk up to the front door, and then shovel the sidewalk. So the shovel the sidewalk's the last thing I do, and I get to the end of my property, and I look up the hill, and I'm like, my neighbor's sidewalk isn't that far. I'll go shovel them too. Pretty excited. Doing this for the first time, and so I shoveled their sidewalk up to their driveway and to their end of the property. I didn't do their driveway, but just the sidewalk, common area. And so the guy came out, knocked on my door a couple days later, whatever it was, and asked if I shoveled the snow. I said, yeah, I did. I was just out there doing it. So I thought I'd just, do the sidewalk. Well, in return, so I did it just out of generosity. And because I was excited about shoveling snow that one and only time. After that, once you do it once, you're never excited to do it again. But that one time I was excited to do it, so I did it. Well, he had a snowblower. Zip, 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 done. So what took me a significant amount of time, he would have been able to do in like no time at all. So the rest of that winter, and it was a brutal winter of 96, 97, snow everywhere. So much that you couldn't put it anywhere. So much that the post office sent me a note saying that if I didn't shovel my walk, I wasn't going to get snow delivered to me. That's how much snow there was, but there was no place to put it. However, my sidewalk in front was always done because of that one act of kindness. My neighbor with his snowblower would go up and down my sidewalk. And my sidewalk in front, the common sidewalk that people walk up and down, it was a lot longer than what his was. But he did it. One act of kindness. And I didn't even ask him to. That was the return. I got a greater return. So just something as simple as that. Taking joy in snow shoveling is a generosity that was then returned to me tenfold because, like I said, there was a lot of snow and every morning my sidewalk was clear. So sometimes just something like that is even possible. But we can get bogged down, I guess, in the stress of it all. Planning the holiday dinners, the parties, going to the parties, work party, family party, friends parties, on and on and on, and managing expectations, gifts to give, money to spend. We're going through an inflation here in 2024. How much money are you going to spend on gifts? Are you going to overdo it so when the credit card bills hit in January, you're depressed? So what can you do to avoid the chaos and stress of the holiday season? So here's a few tips that might be able to help you out. First of all, we all know we have to make a plan. We have to plan ahead. As the saying goes, failure to plan is planning to fail. So we have to have a plan. And if there's too much going on, we might have to set our priorities. And that could vary from person to person if you think about it. I mean, my priorities would probably be different from your priorities. But what's most important to you during the holiday season? Is it spending time with family? If you're, let's say, a school teacher, perhaps it's not doing any school for 2-3 weeks, however much time you have off. So not doing anything, not even thinking about work. But oftentimes school teachers come to mind because it's Christmas vacation, winter vacation, 2 weeks off, right? Look forward to it. And you're gunning for that in August, September, whenever you start teaching the school year. Or maybe your priority is to keep family traditions alive. So whatever it is, set your priorities: family, friends, work, family planning, parties, get together at somebody's house, whose house is it going to be, who's going to make what meal, plan it out. Friends, who's bringing what, where are we going to meet, when is it, plan it out, have a strategy, maybe put it on a calendar so that way you can actually see it out in front of you and realize, whoa, this is too much. I need to cut some of it off because my calendar is so full. Maybe you need to create a budget for all this too, especially with gift giving. Find out how much you can afford to spend on gifts, travel, food, and stick with it. Travel's a big deal. A lot of people like to travel for the holidays, eats into our budget, but then we don't think about that part of the budget and we overspend with the gifts and then the travel included, and January then hits hard. So set priorities, create a budget, and then make that schedule. Plan your activities, when you're going to shop, when you're not going to shop, what events to avoid. So you're going to make your schedule. Make your schedule, plan your activities. That includes shopping, mall time. Growing up in Glendale, California, the Glendale Galleria was always overcrowded. It took you more time to find parking and get out of the parking garages than it ever did to shop. But plan your shopping. What events do you want to go to? What events do you want to avoid? Are there musicals you want to go to? Are there church services you want to go to? Mass. Got to put it all out there so that you don't rush from here to there, and next thing you know, Christmas season is over. So set your priorities, create a budget, make a schedule. And then simplify. Simplify your life. If you're going to all these things, or better yet, if you're hosting a lot of these things, maybe you want to delegate some tasks, share the responsibilities of cooking, share the responsibilities of decorating, or maybe shopping with family and friends. Maybe shopping online makes things convenient now, but again, maybe you want to delegate the shopping. Maybe you want to shop early. Get out there. Maybe one gift a day so that you get it done ahead of time. There were many times I would be shopping on Christmas Eve. Part of it was just because it was kind of fun. But there'd be a lot of times I would be shopping Christmas Eve trying to find that last minute gift for somebody. Now I get it all done ahead of time. Doesn't really matter to me either way. But again, shop early, shop online, avoid the crowded stores. Cyber Monday, Black Friday, those type of things obviously kind of extend beyond the one day and they go for a while now, but you get some good deals online. And then maybe the important thing, especially this year, is maybe scale down. Consider maybe alternatives like fewer gifts, hosting smaller gatherings, or maybe simplifying meals. You know, take a look at Thanksgiving that just passed, and you had, a lot of people with a lot of extravagant meals. And in my younger days with a bigger family, cousins and aunts and uncles and extended cousins that would come from out of state or whatever, you had big meals with a lot of stuff and you get used to a lot of different foods. But then as the years have gone by, the meals have kind of become more simplified because there's not a whole lot of other people that are there that have the interest or desires of these different foods. And so you can simplify, scale it down. Maybe there's somebody there that doesn't want that green bean casserole anymore. Don't make it. Sure, you made it every year, but did anybody really eat it? Well, nobody's really eating it. So maybe add a turkey and a ham. And maybe more people had the turkey than the ham. So maybe don't make the ham, just the turkey. Simplify, scale down. So you can plan ahead. You can set your priorities, create a budget, make a schedule. You can simplify, delegate tasks, shop early or even online, and scale down. This is the most important one. I think if you want to survive the holidays, this is the most important thing you can do to avoid the chaos of Christmas. Set realistic expectations. Don't aim for perfection. Embrace the imperfections that come. Just enjoy the moment. Whatever happens, happens. The meal doesn't turn out right. That's okay. Certain family members didn't show up or did show up. That's okay. Just don't expect perfection like you see on those Hallmark movies or whatever TV show movies you watch, because an angel doesn't get its wings every time a bell rings. So don't aim for perfection. Embrace the imperfection. Communicate boundaries. Set yourself some boundaries. Friends and family, this is what you can and can't do. This is when I'm available, not available. This is when you can call me, don't call me. Schedules pick up during the holidays. And then, of course, you do have to be flexible because just much like you, plans change for them. Your friends and family, plans will change. So be prepared for changes. Go with the flow and just have fun. Enjoy it. Because, again, it goes back to not aiming for perfection and having expectations of realism, realistic expectations. You know, nothing's going to go perfect. The next thing to setting realistic expectations would be to practice self-care. Make sure you get enough rest so you don't overdo it. Prioritize sleeping so you can stay energized. Stay active so that you can relieve the stress and things like that of the holidays. Or maybe you want to start doing some sort of exercise or whatever. Sometimes exercising, shopping the mall is enough. But stay active. Of course, we love the food at the holidays, right? Eat, eat, eat. Thanksgiving is all about stuffing ourselves and then knocking out on the couch afterwards, right? But again, during the holiday season, when we're eating a lot, we just want to be mindful of what we eat. We can enjoy the holiday treats, but again, we want to maintain a balance so we don't blow up 50 pounds come January. But we don't rob ourselves from the pleasures of the food that we enjoy to eat. And then we can focus on connections, spending time with loved ones, maybe volunteering our time. Maybe we want to limit social media. We can definitely learn to say no, politely decline invitations if we're getting bombarded with them. We don't want to overextend ourselves, don't want to overextend our time or our energy. We can obviously practice gratitude. That was a part of the Christmas spirit characteristics. Reflect on what we're thankful for, be thankful for others. And then if we have to, because the holidays can be a sad time, we've lost people, family members aren't there this time like they were last time. So maybe we need to seek support and talk to someone. Maybe just share the feelings with a trusted friend or family member, or if we have to seek professional help, that's fine too. If the stress of the holidays or the sadness, the depression kicks in. But if we manage our time, if we practice self-care, if we set realistic expectations, if we do some of these things here, we're going to be okay. We're going to plan ahead. We've got our budget. We've got our priorities. We've got our schedule. We're delegating tasks. We're simplifying our lives for the holidays. We've got realistic expectations. Nothing's going to be perfect. This isn't a Hallmark movie. Things are bound to go bad, so we're good to go with that. I'm taking care of myself. I'm getting enough rest. I'm eating like I'm supposed to, even though I'm still snacking and having the good holiday foods. We're still taking care of ourselves. We're spending time with loved ones. We're doing everything we need to do. We're saying no. We're doing our boundaries. We're going to have a pretty good holiday season. So we've got the Christmas spirit, and we've got ways to kind of manage that Christmas chaos. But what are some of the things that you'd like to do as far as family traditions or Christmas traditions? Do you have any? Christmas tradition growing up, Christmas Eve was always spent with my dad's family. We'd go to typically my grandma and grandpa's house. And then as they got a little bit older, we adjusted to my Aunt Catherine and Uncle Harry's house for the most part. And then New Year's Day again was back at Grandma and Grandpa's. That's why we kind of switched it up. Sometimes it'd be at our house. But we'd get together. That was our Christmas Eve tradition, was get together as family. You draw a name at Thanksgiving, and then you buy a gift for somebody. But do you have any? Oftentimes, we would have the reading of Luke 2, the Christmas story from the Bible. Sometimes, because my aunt and uncle lived in Arcadia, or if I went to other uncle and aunt's house, they lived in Sierra Madre, kind of Altadena area, if you're familiar with it. They had, what was it called? I think like Christmas Tree Lane, with all the trees that were just naturally grown trees. They kind of formed a growth over the street, and they would like light them up with Christmas lights. You can drive down them. So we would take a drive, but maybe you would like to take a stroll. I think there was an ice cream house, they called it. Don't know why, but they would decorate it. It was this huge mansion. They would decorate all kinds of stuff. So maybe you go and see lights on Christmas Eve. Whatever. Downtown LA. I remember downtown LA. I think it was December of 19. So right before COVID kicked in, downtown LA had all these buildings, office buildings, and the office buildings all had Christmas trees in them. And so at night you could usually get into the lobby for some reason. And so we'd go into the lobby, take pictures at all these different Christmas trees and try to gather as many pictures in front of these Christmas trees in downtown LA as possible. But again, you can create your own traditions. We created a new tradition as my family began to shrink because people would move away and so forth. One Christmas Eve, we went down to the Santa Monica Pier and hung out. Had some food at Forrest Gump's place and just walked the pier. Probably went on a couple of rides at Palisades Park or Pacific Park, whatever it's called, and had a good time. Completely different from my traditional Christmas Eve growing up. But again, times changed. Family moved away. Not a whole lot of people around. People doing other things. And so create new traditions. You could also, if you need some ideas, so you can come up with your own traditions, but you can maybe come up with a themed Christmas tree. Or do you like to have it a regular tree? Do you like to have a white flocked tree? Or does it have to be green? You can have a decorating contest. Maybe gingerbread or whatever else, cookies. One of the things that a lot of people like to do is watch movies during the holiday season. Do you have a Christmas movie marathon list that you want to watch? Maybe invite some people over if you need a family tradition, maybe with some friends or maybe new family that comes in because of, maybe you got people in your family dating others or engaged or whatever. So maybe you have a movie marathon. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. That's all I'm going to say, but go ahead and watch it if you want to. One movie I would recommend during the holidays that you have to watch, it's black and white. It's the original 1947 version of Miracle on 34th Street. Should definitely watch it. It's an entertaining movie. Of course, it's 1947. Keep that in mind. But again, it's a great movie to watch. I know a lot of people like to watch Home Alone. That seems to become a holiday tradition. Elf, I've never seen. In fact, no, I watched the first 5 minutes of Elf and I gave up. It's a Wonderful Life, people like. A Christmas Story. I mean, there's many. Christmas with the Cranks, Santa Claus, it goes on and on. But maybe you have a Christmas movie marathon. Or maybe you have a movie night once every week leading up to it. Kind of like an advent of movies. One movie I think I want to try to watch is Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland. I was watching parts of The Wizard of Oz. I hadn't seen The Wizard of Oz in years. And it came on, and I don't remember much of it because it's been a number of years, although I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. Not because of the story plot necessarily, but think about it. 30s movie making went from black and white to color. You went from a dream, became a dream sequence. How many shows have we seen since then adapt that dream sequence? Right? It was all just a dream or changing times, advancing forward, or maybe going before events, a prequel, sequel, stuff like that. And there's the whole concept of the fascination of it all, just everything involved with it for the year that it was made. But so I was watching it, and then up next was going to be Meet Me in St. Louis, and it looked pretty interesting, but I didn't stay to watch it. So maybe I'll check that out. But maybe you want to try something new, try a new movie. One of the things that we used to do is have a holiday baking day where you spend the day baking stuff, but our family would make lefse. Lefse is basically in a nutshell, lefse, you have potatoes and you turn potatoes into discs of food that look like tortillas. So it's a white disc that looks like a tortilla and it feels like a tortilla. It's that kind of texture. Then it becomes a dessert because you can put butter on it. And we would put brown sugar, roll it up, and now you have a Norwegian dessert or Scandinavian dessert. And so it takes all day to bake the potatoes and do the whole thing. And so family would get together and do that. I never really made it, but I would eat it for sure. And so that's one thing in our family as a tradition that we would do every holiday, have a Lefse baking day. But maybe you do other things. I know in some cultures it's tamale. You get together and make tamales. Maybe you want to write Christmas cards. Christmas cards, mail is becoming obsolete. Maybe instead of emails, maybe you want to send a Christmas card. So there's many things that you can do. Obviously, giving back is one of them. Maybe you want to host a charity drive or have a secret Santa type of thing at the office or at school or whatever you do. I think one of the best things that I ever did was kind of something that I was teaching at a college. The college had a radio station. I oversaw the radio station. I was the general manager of the radio station. And we decided that we're just kind of a toy drive for Children's Hospital Los Angeles. So I talked to the students. I said, hey, you guys willing to kind of get the word out? We're having a toy drive. And we thought, maybe just get a couple gifts from people on campus, different departments on campus. And we actually pulled in quite the haul that one year. The second year, not so much, but the first year was really good. Maybe because it was a novelty, or maybe it was just the students that were driving it, because the next year we had different students. But it went well, and we dropped them off. Children's Hospital, Los Angeles. And so maybe you do something like that for a charity. Again, investing your time. Maybe you volunteer for the holidays. Maybe you do Christmas karaoke with family or friends, or Christmas trivia night. So there's many things you can do. I don't understand Elf on a Shelf and that whole thing, but people like to do that. And then, of course, maybe a present scavenger hunt. So there are some things you can do, but you can make your new traditions. You can have your old traditions. Forget about the commercialization and the capitalization, like, money of Christmas. Don't make it about the gifts and the spending and the chaos. Have fun, because it only comes around once a year. And again, don't forget what the true meaning of Christmas is about.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not. For behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
So there you have it. Christmas and what it's all about. So don't forget about the true meaning of Christmas as you go forward this Christmas season. Make it about the true meaning of Christmas and less about the capitalization and commercialization and the gifts and all that worldly stuff. How about Christmas music? What type of Christmas music do you like? Now, I like all kinds of Christmas music. Obviously, the traditional carols are always good. One that a popular contemporary artist sings, Aaron Shust, O Come, Emmanuel, that version I like. Do You Hear What I Hear by Third Day. And then, of course, the other ones like Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Away in the Manger, Joy to the World. I love Twisted Sisters, O Come All Ye Faithful. For some reason, atheists singing about O Come All Ye Faithful, O Come All Ye Faithful. It's fascinating to me, but that version is really cool. And then they break out into a guitar riff of Hava Nagila, I think it is. So those are some of the ones that I kind of like personally. But one song that really became, at one point, a focus, an emphasis, a charitable thing was, Do You Know It's Christmas Time? Or Do They Know It's Christmas Time? It was Band-Aid. And it was originally created by Bob Geldof, who was watching the BBC, a documentary on the famine in Ethiopia. And so he decided to create this song and collaborated with this song with some other musicians. Bob Geldof was with Boomtown Rats. And then he got people like Paul Young, Boy George, George Michael, Simon Le Bon, Bono, and some others from Duran Duran, Bananarama, Kool and the Gang, and others to sing it. And it raised $14 million for famine relief. And it was released December 7th, 1984. So that's 40 years ago that this song was released. And that led to then Live Aid, which was the multi-concert event in Wembley Stadium and in Philadelphia. And that raised even more money for the famines of Ethiopia. But I like Do They Know It's Christmas Time, but even Bob Geldof got tired of it because apparently he would hear it over and over and over and over and over again in the stores shopping, and he kind of grew to resent it, unfortunately. But what kind of songs do you like? What kind of Christmas songs do you listen to? Here are, according to BIllboard Magazine, it was released last year, 2023. December 22nd. So 3 days before Christmas, 2023. According to BIllboard Magazine, here are the top 10 Christmas songs. Do you listen to any of them? Now, they did a top 100, but I'm not going to give all 100. Here are the top 10. However, number 100 was Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Christmas Eve, Sarajevo, 12/24, 1996. But here's the top 10. Do you know any of these? Do you like any of these is the question. Danny Hathaway, This Christmas from 1970. Never heard of it. How about Bruce Springsteen coming in at number 9? Santa Claus is Coming to Town from 1982. I'll enjoy that song. How about Run DMC coming in at number 8? Christmas in Hollis from 1987. I don't think I've ever heard that either. Jose Feliciano at number 7 with Feliz Navidad. Who hasn't heard of that? And an interesting story about that, I don't think he wanted to write it. I think he had a friend that kind of coaxed him into writing a Christmas song, and he came up with Feliz Navidad, but it becomes the 7th all-time song, Christmas song on Billboard. And how can you not enjoy a little Feliz Navidad? Just the tune itself, right? Number 6 is Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree from 1958. And you'll notice one of the patterns is that a lot of these songs are older songs. Not too many new songs have come out, original songs have come out that have stuck with Billboard Magazine being an all-time Christmas song. A lot of them are a lot of older songs, and of course, then some of the newer ones are from the 90s. But Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, 1958. What about Bing Crosby's White Christmas? So you got Bing Crosby, White Christmas, 1947. Wham! Last Christmas, which I don't understand why. It's number 4 from 1984. Nat King Cole, The Christmas Song. Would make sense that Nat King Cole would be on the list from 1961, coming in at number 3. Darlene Love, another song I haven't heard of. At least I don't think. Christmas, Baby Please Come Home from 1963. And then, of course, the number 1 song. What do you think it might be? I'm pretty sure you have an idea. It makes this artist millions of dollars every December when it's played over and over and over and over again. And you would be right. It's Mariah Carey. All I Want for Christmas Is You from 1994. Are any of those your favorite songs? Do you like any of them? Do you hate any of them? I know a couple people that can't stand the Mariah Carey song. I think Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, is on my Spotify list. I should add Feliz Navidad. Bruce Springsteen's on the list. Andy Williams, which isn't in the top 10, but The Most Wonderful Time of the Year from 1963 is on my list. Bobby Helms, Jingle Bell Rock, 1957. I like Burl Ives, A Holly Jolly Christmas, 1964. In the song, they talk about sharing ghost stories. You should check out, if you have some free time and you want some homework, check out the correlation between ghost stories and Christmas. Obviously, Scrooge had the 3 ghosts, right? But 1964, Burl Ives share scary ghost stories and tales of the stories from a long, long time ago. Check out internet search the correlation between ghost stories and Christmas. I like Bing Crosby and David Bowie's Peace on Earth, Little Drummer Boy duet from 1977. And then a more modern one is the Little Drummer Boy by Jennifer Nettles and Idina Menzel. That's on my Spotify list. But again, Christmas, and that's the other thing too, I don't understand. Why do people not like Christmas songs? I know people that are adamant on not listening to Christmas music unless it's at Christmas time. There are some great songs that you can play all year round. And maybe that's what it comes down to. Maybe it's we've become so commercialized that we focus Christmas at just Christmas time. Now, I know there are some places, and no, I'm not talking about the North Pole, but I know there are some places that might have a Christmas shop open all year round. Maybe Santa's Village, if that still exists post-COVID in some different places, maybe that's year round. But why is it that Christmas and Christmas-related material is only one time of year? I mean, everything that Christmas embodies, from the music, at least the lyrics that are being sung. I mean, you think about Do They Know It's Christmas, raising money for famine relief in Ethiopia in the 1980s. I mean, that's a good thing. And there was a line in there, I think Bono sings it, where it says, thank God tonight it's not you, or something like that. And tonight, thank God it's not you, or it isn't you, it's them. And he didn't want to sing that part. He didn't want to sing that line because he thought it was too like in your face. And Bob Geldof was like, that's the point. The point is to stick it into the face of everybody that is okay. That is, you know what? You're living your life. You've been privileged. You've been blessed. You have good things going on. But these people over here are suffering from famine. And yes, you are thankful that it's not you. And it's a stick in your face to get people to then send $14 million to famine relief in Ethiopia. And then that set off Live Aid, which was another bunch of money that went to famine relief in the mid 1980s to Africa. So yes, things like this should be all year round. I mean, you think about the festivities, the family gathering. And I know you can't do it all the time. And I know that the Christmas holiday season is set aside for that distinct time. We all know, okay, this is the time of year that we're all getting together and we're going to do family stuff. But me growing up, we had Easter. We had 4th of July. 4th of July was big just up until a couple of years ago before people started to move away and stuff like that, get together for fireworks. So there are a lot of, sometimes we just have a summer pool party or the 12 days of Christmas. So 12 days after Christmas, you could do the math from December 25th to 12 days after, which is a couple days in January. My Aunt Catherine would have a 12 days of Christmas party that we'd all get together and kind of have a second Christmas gathering of food and family and friends, and was just focused on no gifts, nothing like that. It was just focused on the togetherness, the family love, and the community of family. And a lot of that stuff now is no longer available because families moved away, family members have passed on, and so life changes. But there was a lot of focus on family in our get-togethers. And so if you are struggling with, let's say, finances, and you've got, do you really need to get $1,000 iPhone? Do you really need to get whatever else is out there, the latest, greatest Beats by Dr. Dre or whatever? I don't even know what the cool things are anymore. But do you? Or is it okay to scale back and be like, do you really need like a thing this big, a Stanley drink cup thing to haul around? I mean, some of these things, I went to New Orleans back in 2019, and they had this thing called like Big Ass Beer or something like that. It was just a tremendous, huge thing of beer. It was like $40. I had to get it. Didn't finish it. Not because I didn't want to, because it got warm by the time I got to the bottom of it. But some of you all carrying Stanley water sipper cups this big. It's like, do you really need that? Do you really need 88 ounces of water to lug around with you? You're not a camel. And there's a drinking fountain at every school. But think about it. Scale it down. Scale down the gifts. Scale down the budget. Make it fit. Maybe this year's the year you spend more on family. Maybe this is the year you give your gift of time. See, you can have an Elon Musk, a Jeff Bezos, name any rich dude. They can outgive me 20 times over. However, you get me and Jeff Bezos at a Habitat for Humanity construction site. Now his time At my time, the giving is equal. Soup kitchen, one of those missions, food banks, whatever. Spending time with people that maybe don't have family. You know, in high school, my high school was across the street from the Veterans Hospital. So every Thanksgiving and Christmas, we would go over and visit the veterans. We did it twice a year. You think, why not do it more? I don't know. I wasn't a part of that decision making, but there was parameters about young people, underage people going to the veterans home had to be supervised. But yeah, and then some people did try to go a little bit more often once they could. But what about that? What about taking care of veterans? What about the homeless? I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of needs that people have out there this time of year. What about just being a friend on the other end of a phone call? Maybe not a text, but a phone call where they can actually hear a voice. You know, one of the things that you do have to be careful about, obviously, is touch, right? You don't want to offend anybody through touching. But a lot of times, an innocent hug, okay, at this time of year, because people crave that human interaction. Sometimes an innocent hug just might be what the other person needs. A smile, a high five, a fist bump, whatever you do, handshake, old school, gentleman style. You know, sometimes just that can make someone feel better. A compliment. You look nice today. Whatever, you know, that can be beneficial too. So, and if we carry that over, I mean, you think about it, you've got, again, that Christmas spirit. You've got the generosity and giving, which is just kind of common with the gift giving and stuff. But love and togetherness, yeah, we focus on that family. We focus on our friends getting together. But is it checking off a list? Okay, I got together with the family. Okay, I got together with the family. Okay, I did this. And we're checking off a list. Or is it we are in the moment? We are celebrating in the moment. We have that joy in the moment. We're reflecting on this past year. And maybe it was a crappy year. But are there some good things that came out of it? Are there good things from this past year that we can be thankful for? Roof over our head, food, a car to drive, things that we take for granted. There's a lot of people that just the simple things in life. And if we are struggling and we're like, me, maybe if we turn the focus to them, you, and we take the focus off of us and we put it on other people, acts of kindness, helping other people, putting other people first, then maybe our lives aren't so bad. The woe is me isn't as bad. Because we can do that. We can sit there and reflect on ourselves. We can sit there and say, this is what I want for my new year. This is what I'm trying to do. And that's all good. You know, hitting the gym is the number one thing. Join the gym in January, it's packed full. You go in February, it's empty. That's the amount of commitment that people have in the gym a lot of times at the new year. But if we take the focus off of us and look at others, because I guarantee you that if you really did commit to other people, whatever that looks like to you, whether it's helping them with tutoring, education, you know, teachers are overworked, underpaid, according to everybody. Maybe you were able to tutor somebody or help them learn to read. Maybe you were able to babysit for free, give a young couple with twins. They just had twins. If you have one kid and then you have twins, give them a couple hours of relief so they can just go out or stay home or sleep. I mean, it's the littlest things. It doesn't take a whole lot to have a major impact on somebody else's life. It's the smallest of things. We like to think of like the big donors that give away to charity and all this glamorous big stuff that goes on. And hey, that's kindness. That's, you know, generosity. That's whatever. And that's fine. That's not bad. But it's the little things sometimes. It's the shoveling the walk that the return becomes greater than we ever think. We didn't even think of a return. Maybe it's going and visiting someone. Actually going and visiting someone, taking our vacation time and going and visiting somebody that we haven't seen for a while. You have to decide. But this Christmas time of season, we like to focus on it, and that's great. Have a great Christmas. Have a blessed Christmas. Do what you do. But can't we take this spirit of Christmas, this generosity and giving, this love and togetherness, spending quality time with people, having the joy and celebration in February, maybe January. Maybe February is a bad month because of Valentine's Day, but other times of year. I mean, I look at the sports year. I like the sports calendar because it gives me something to look forward to and to kind of celebrate, in the sports world. But can't we do that every year? I mean, we do it at people's birthdays. Why not make people's birthdays around the year a time of getting together? You have to decide what works for you. Maybe reflecting every month, every week, writing a journal, whatever. Having hope, this week was bad. Next week's better. Next week's better. Or if we wake up in the morning, it's only Monday. Well, what can I do instead of it's only Monday? Hey, it's Monday. What can I achieve today? Who can I help today? Change our attitude, change our mindset. And then maybe the final thing is, like Linus said, the true meaning of Christmas. Maybe we reflect spiritually on our faith, what we believe. And then maybe we let that drive us. It's completely up to you. This is Two Steps Ahead podcast, encouraging you to take your passion, make it happen, let yourself be great. Check out our website, radiowarp.com. That's radio, W-A-R-P, radiowarp.com. Many things on the website, but if you click on the Two Steps Ahead podcast logo, our past shows will pop up. You'll see them on video form. You can click on them, watch them. It also takes you to our Rumble page, if you so choose, to check out videos there as well. There's an orange banner that goes across the center of our page that says SoundCloud, I think. Click on that, and it's the audio version. And you can click and download and take episodes with you on the go from our SoundCloud page. Or you can just listen anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartMedia, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're there. You can go to YouTube. We're also there on the video portion. You can do an internet search of Two Steps Ahead podcast. And the two is TWO, not the number, but spelled out TWO, Two Steps Ahead podcast. And we pop up. We're also on social media at Two Steps Ahead podcast. We got TikTok. We've got Instagram. We've got Facebook. Our email address, twostepsaheadpodcast@gmail.com. twostepsaheadpodcast@gmail.com. I invite you to reach out if you have to, if there's no place to go, if you're feeling down, you feel alone, whatever it is, you're not, reach out. I'll respond. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody that can. If you just want to say hi, say Merry Christmas, that'd be great too. But twostepsaheadpodcast@gmail.com, or just DM me on any of the social media places too, and I get that as well. But again, Christmas time of year, make it a fun year. Make it a Merry Christmas. Actually, make it a Merry Christmas. Have fun with it. Or a Happy Hanukkah. Make it happy. Happy and merry. Have some fun with it. Make sure that you go through this year, this holiday season, and you make it the best, because it might be the last one with certain family members. It might be the last one in the location that you're at. Life changes. We know that. We learned that life can change dramatically. In the last couple of years, we learned that. So make the most of it now. Live in the moment of now. If you're a school teacher, you're counting down the days to break. We know it. If you're going on a trip, you're counting down the days till you get on that plane and you're dreading the airports and stuff. Realistic expectations. The flight may not go as well. There may be delays. Expectations might help you get through the holiday season. Set your limits, set your goals, realistic expectations, but most of all, make sure you take care of yourself. Do what you want to do. Enjoy the holiday season. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. And most of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the show. Every year, we've been doing it for over 5 years now. We like to thank you for that. So again, just thank you for being a part of Two Steps Ahead podcast. I'm Son Edom. Hey, thanks for listening. Do tell a friend. And until next time, God bless.